Okay, let's look at some more on equations now. This is the general equation, and this is exercise 3F, and it's on page 99. Okay, well, this is a less useful form of the line of or equation of a line. Rather than mx plus c, that tells us the slope and the y-intercept, this is just sort of general form, where you have no exponents and just constant coefficients. That's the definition of a line in general form, but basically that's what they're asking for here. I'm going to go down and look at these two problems, or at least this first one here. Finding the equation of a line that goes through 2 points. That's something we haven't done before, and I'm going to look at it in both this form and the more useful y equals mx plus c form. So what I want to do now is change over so I have some working room, and we're going to look at part C. And these are the 2 points of the line they gave me. Let's just zoom in on that so we can write and make it clearer to see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the equation of the line through these points. Okay. First step is to find the gradient. That's going to be a continuing thing in all the way through lines. The first thing you're going to want to know, if you don't already know it, is the gradient. So here, what I'm going to first do is use that gradient formula, and it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Don't be afraid to use lots of parentheses. They help clarify things a lot. 3 minus a negative 2 is 3 plus 2. Negative 1 minus 3 we can leave as is. 3 plus 2 is 5. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. So now our slope, or our gradient, is negative 5/4. Doesn't matter whether the negative's in the top, the bottom, or even out in front. Okay, now that I've got the gradient, I've got a similar problem to what I did in the last section of homework problems, or work problems from the book. I want to find the equation of the line through one of these points and having this gradient. Doesn't matter which one you pick. If you have a choice, pick the ones that have smaller numbers or less negative numbers, anything that makes it easier. This one has a negative 1. I'm going to go with that one just because it's easier to use 1 than any other number, except 0. So let's try that one. So we're going to say it has this gradient, and it goes through this point. So like last time, we found that if we know the gradient, all I have to do is find c. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus c. I'm going to say y is 3, m is negative 5/4, x is negative 1, and c is the unknown. Okay, well that's a nice easy equation. 3 equals, the negatives cancel out, and I get 5/4 plus c. Instead of 3 then, let's write it, instead of 3/1, let's get a common denominator here. So I'll multiply the top and bottom by 4. I'll say 12/4. Okay, 12/4 is 3, so now it's easy to subtract 5/4 from both sides. What I'm going to get is, 8/4 here. Oops, I was right the first time. 12 minus 5 is what I want. 12 minus 5, that'll be 7/4, and that'll be c. So what this does all together is tell me the equation of the line is y equals mx plus c. Let me make sure that's still visible. Okay, not too bad. Let's zoom in a little bit, make it a little easier to see. That's already zoomed in all the way it is. Okay, so that's negative 5/4, x plus 7/4. Now, if we wanted to stick in general form with a, b, and c, then let's just multiply both sides by the common denominator here, which is 4. So if I multiply the left side by 4, I'm going to get 4y. The 4's will cancel here, and the 4's will cancel here. Okay, now we just rearrange it so every letter and number other than, the constant, everything's on one side and 0's on the other. So basically I'm going to take 4y plus 5x minus 7 equals 0. And make sure I didn't leave the frame a little bit. Let's go down a bit. There we go. That's a perfectly acceptable general form for the line. But as I said, this is a much more descriptive form. It tells the gradient and it gives you a point on the line, 0.7/4. This doesn't really tell you anything about the line other than it's a line. The fact that the coefficients are all constants makes it easy to substitute values in and find them, but that's the general form for a line. So that's how to find the equation, whether it's y equals mx plus c or the ax plus by plus c equals 0 form here. Maybe it's worth saying that a, the coefficient of x is 5, b, the coefficient of y is 4, and c, the constant is negative 7. That's sort of what those letters represent. But there's no need to worry about what order it's written in here. Anything like that's fine. Of course, you've got your formula book. It tells you to put x first. If you want to be completely compliant with that, then do that first. All right. So that's it. So if you're given 2 points, first find the gradient, and then you can find the equation below.